Hello. So today we celebrate International Women's Day, and the story that I'm about to share with you demonstrates just how special each and every one of you are simply because you were born a woman. It's Bali 2022, and I'm in Bali on the 27th of December 2022, and it's our first family holiday. I am in a coral bikini, of course, and I'm by the pool, and it's a hot, sweltering and humid day. I bask in the moment. I look at my husband, and he is in the pool playing with our beautiful baby daughter, Sage. And my heart absolutely melts watching the two of them playing in the pool together. They're having the most wonderful time. I think to myself, I am so grateful for everything that we have at this point in time. I'm so proud of us for not giving up, because our baby daughter would not exist today if we had thrown in the towel. My heart completely cracks open, and I realise that this is what life's about. Everything I've ever wanted in life, I have right in front of me. What I experience is sheer contentment. I have life's greatest gift. However, little did I think it was going to take us 4 very long years to get to this point. So let me take you back in time. It's the 21st of December 2018, and I thought at this point I would have a Christmas present in my tummy at this point. But no, the universe has other plans for me today. The universe decides that I'm going to get my time with the ones again, and my heart sinks. It's now Christmas Eve, and I go on social media and I see baby announcement after baby announcement after baby announcement. And I remember my intuition telling me, Sonja, the road to having your baby, I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as you think it is. Fast forward to the 16th of March 2019, and we're in the fertility doctor's office, and the doctor says to us, I'm so sorry guys, but the road to having your baby is going to be very difficult. I instantly feel the blood drain from my face. I feel nauseous. I feel, what did I do in this lifetime to deserve such a punishment? Everything I've ever wanted in this life is to be a mom. I know I'm destined to be a mom. So we walk away from the fertility doctor's office, and me and my husband try to reassure each other, we will get through this. So at that point, I think to myself, okay, what's the best way for me to cope with this right now? I start to distance myself from everyone, because every single social gathering I go to, people seem to think it's okay to ask the question, so when are you having kids? Little do they know that their words cut straight through me like a dagger in my heart. I think the best thing for me to do at that point is to just shut the world outside, go inward and block everyone away. I come completely off social media, because I definitely find that every time I open it, I see baby announcements, baby showers, baby arrivals, and not that I'm not happy for anybody else. I'm just so devastated for us. So it is now the 25th of April, 2019. It's D-Day, embryo transfer day. After a series of IVF cycles later, we're now 2 years later at this point. We find out on the 7th of May that we're expecting our beautiful baby on the 13th of January 2022. And everything that we've ever wanted is starting to come true. We're finally getting our baby. This is absolutely incredible. However, on the first scan, at our 8-week scan, we find that we lost the baby through silent miscarriage. The journey was very long and very tough, but I definitely did not think miscarriage would also be part of the journey. The journey, look, was very, very long, and I'm more than happy to go into it and talk to each and every one of you ladies on the break or on social media. But let me just say it got to a particularly rock bottom moment when one day I was scheduled to do an Instagram live with Brooke, how to socialise online. And it is now the 2nd of August 2021, and I go in for my follow-up check-up with the doctor to make sure that I'm healing correctly from the miscarriage, only to discover there's clots all over my uterus, like a colony of mushrooms growing in a field. I'm told I need to have another D&C surgery to remove the remains because I didn't do it right the first time. I go back to my office, try to get on with my day, and block it out. And then all of a sudden, I feel this warm rush down my legs. I look down, and to my horror, I see an absolute massacre of blood absolutely everywhere. I think to myself, how in the name of God am I going to be able to do this Instagram live and show off my business today? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Oh my God, oh my God. So what I do, I say to myself, you got this, girl. You need to pack this away, and you need to deal with this later. You need to show up for your small business today. So thankfully I have this navy cardigan, I wrap it around my waist, I run out of the office, and as I proceed to run out of the office, one of my team members approached me to ask me a question. I say, sorry, I can't talk right now, I need to go. So I rush home into Scarborough, have a shower, put on a fresh set of clothes, and I say to myself the whole way home, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. So came back, Instagram live went great, and I remember thinking to myself, saying to myself, Sonja, please don't bleed again, please don't bleed again, please don't bleed again. I didn't, which is great. How many of us women have had to be in a work situation and grapple with issues that are specifically women's issues? I want to take a moment to celebrate each and every single one of you ladies here today for being a woman. Stuff like this is not stuff that men have to go through. So I want to take the opportunity for every single one of you ladies to stand up. Please, stand up. And I want you to turn to the lady beside you and give her the biggest high five or embrace her. For every single time she's had to show up for her business, something going on with her kids, something going on with her partner, something going on with her elderly parents, and you still showed up. You're truly amazing. You really, really are. What this story has told me is that, and what I've learned to this day is that there's a natural divine process to absolutely everything in this life. And you too will need to remember that your business is not going to grow the way you want it, how you want it, how fast you want it. It's not how it works. Yes, we had baby stage in the end, but it didn't happen on my timeline. It didn't happen when I wanted things. And surrendering to the process of being a business owner as a woman is my first key takeaway for today. You can all sit down. So now we're going to talk about what it means to be a woman in a male-dominated industry. It's the 25th of April. It's April 2018, and I'm brought across to manage the agency's biggest client, who's a very well-known luxury home builder here in Perth. This specific client is spending over $40,000 a month on advertising with this agency. However, the relationship with this client had become quite toxic, and the agency was in risk of losing their biggest client. Upon investigation, and to my absolute horror, the SEO campaign had resulted in that client's website being penalised on Google. And this specific client was losing millions in business. So allow me to explain what Google penalization is. So on Google, every year there is 3,000 algorithm changes that are released on Google. And it is the job of an SEO expert to keep up with those algorithm changes. There are two common strategies with SEO, black hat SEO and white hat SEO. Black hat is attempting to trick the Google system and not playing by the rules. It is a sure way to end up you're going to be penalized. White hat, on the other hand, is doing everything that Google wants you to do and is also known as best practice SEO. It does not happen overnight. It takes time to see the results on Google. However, when you get there, you can experience things like raining leads, meaning that you're not paying for the leads to come through, they organically fall through your website because you're doing what Google wants you to do. Think of it like this. You don't meet somebody and go on your first date and expect to marry them the next day. Google is no different. You need to actually earn the trust from that significant other. And you need to play by the rules of no cheating. So anyway, I tell my boss what I had found out at the time. And little did he know that the client's website was penalised on Google for the SEO campaign that agency was in charge of running. Because he outsourced all of the SEO to a company in India where he paid that company peanuts, charged a massive markup, and made a huge profit on the client. He had no idea about the severity and the impact that it had on that client's business, and he begged me not to say anything to the client. It was at that point where I said to myself, Sonja girl, you can't work for this guy any longer. And so I decided it was time for me to set up my own show. And I thought to myself, surely I can do a better job than this guy. And most importantly, to deliver results ethically. As the weeks followed, it became very clear that my boss was competing a bit with me in meetings. One day, we're in a meeting with the client, and he turns around in front of the client and said, digital doesn't even work. He tries to attempt to cover up the fact that the client's website's been penalised on Google. And he says, you need to just spend more investment in print advertising. I am absolutely floored by the lies that come out of this fella's mouth. And I proceed to approach him to discuss next steps with the client. And he flat out says to me, what do you know? You're only a woman. Oh, well, if he did, do you know what I said to him, ladies? They said, who in the name of F, I won't swear, do you think you are speaking to me like that in this day and age? Woo! What has become shocking to me is that there are so many businesses within my industry that are doing this and getting away with them. And I got to a point one day where I wanted to do something that does not go against my values. I do not want to be led by the dollar. Your brand as a business owner ultimately relies on your values. And I kind of had to discover my values purely by accident. Moral of the story here, ladies, is that you need to define your values as a leader. They comprise your reputation. But I also want to invite you to not only think about your own personal values, but what are the values of the collaborators you're deciding to work with, the vendors you're deciding to work with, the team you employ. They comprise your brand and your reputation. So I've created this tool for you guys, and I invite you to take a photo of this to remind you that your brand in small business ultimately relies on your values, reputation, but also the values of the collaborators you decide to work with. When I look into this audience, I'm reminded of two of my clients. First client, Marianne. Marianne came to us just over 3 years ago. She was working for a top-tier agency, and when I took over the ad account, to my absolute horror, the client's Google Ads campaign has not been optimized in 3 years. They pay $3 grand a month with no work to be done on that account. That's 3 grand a month multiplied by 3 years equals 120 grand worth of investment into that agency with no work. That's like paying for a team member that never shows up to work. And people get away with it, which is a scary thing. This specific agency was following the set and forget mentality of setting up a Google Ads campaign and letting it run. A Google Ads campaign is not finished the minute you put it live. It requires consistent tweaking to remove the keywords that aren't working, to A/B split test the ad copy. Because the more you do what Google wants you to do, they reward you by you paying less cost per click. Marianne today enjoys 10 times return on ad spend simply by partnering with the Search Republic. And the second client that this also the audience also reminds me of is my beautiful client Rachel. Now Rachel had been partnered with us for 3 years. She was one of our first agency clients, which is how the business started. And she came to end the financial year rejigging the budgets, and she really wanted to test the requirement for SEO. So I advised, obviously, against what her decision was, and she wanted to bring it in-house, and she thought that she could manage it in-house herself. I watched from the sidelines in that 13-month period that website go backwards and ultimately cost that business millions and a colossal amount of website traffic. Now, moral of this story, and what I want everyone to take away from what I'm saying, is that SEO is a skill set, just like being an accountant is a skill set. SEO is the backbone of your entire digital strategy. So you go to an accountant to get your books, to do your books and do your taxes and make sure it's all above board. The same applies for SEO. I know full well as a small business owner we can fall into the trap of doing everything ourselves, but SEO shouldn't be one of them. So a page of content going on your website is not SEO. It is part of the overall SEO pie. It does not constitute doing SEO. I understand that in the early days of business, budgets really, like marketing budgets, is just not there for business owners, which is why I created my new service called SEO on Fire. It actually only launched last week. Thank you very much. I specifically designed this for small business owners so they can actually see at a glance what's going on with their website. This is something that we do for our top tier agency clients since the beginning of time. It's like bringing your car to the mechanic and figuring out what's wrong with your car so that the mechanic can fix it. Essentially, you're bringing your website to the SEO mechanics, and we will figure out what's wrong with your website and provide you with a whole list of deliverables about what you need to rectify in order to be found by your ideal client on Google for the problem that you solve. So I invite you all that if you have any specific questions about SEO on Fire, or you want to talk to me or any one of my team, please come and find me outside or while we're networking. And also, I just want to leave you with one of my biggest whys and why I do what I do. I want business owners to work smarter, not harder, so they can spend more time with the people they love the most, and they never have to worry about where the next sale is coming from. I want to thank each and every single one of you, and I also want to thank two of my beautiful clients that are here today, which is Laura Mara from Paw Pads Daycare and Emma Heritage from the Kids Shack. They are more than happy to tell you what their experience is like has been working with the Search Republic. Absolutely adore all of our clients. And I also wanted to offer each and every single one of you a discount on my brand new service with the discount code IWD23. Thank you so much for your time and listening to me today. Sonja Pototzki-Raymond Míle means in Oswelga, Irish. Wishing you good health and thank you very much, ladies. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much.